Welcome back, boys and girls. Can Sean Strickland be the one to kill Khamzat Chimaev? In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the skills of Sean Strickland. I'm going to be breaking down his unorthodox but technical striking, his takedown defense, and how I would game plan to beat Khamzat Chimaev. Let's get serious. All right, boys and girls, here we go. We got Sean Strickland, Sean Tarzan Strickland. They took his nickname off. It used to be Tarzan. Now we got Sean Strickland, 35 years old. Now that's growing into some man strength. I don't think there's any dad strength there yet, but man strength. Sean Strickland's been training a long time. He's been training with elite people in the UFC for a long time. Sean Strickland has been around. He's got 30 wins, 12 KOs, 4 submissions, 14 decisions, 7 losses. Right now, he's 2-2 in his last 4. Now, his last fight with Anthony Hernandez, that's what we're going to get into here in a bit. February 21st went down. And remember, Fluffy was on a 7-fight win streak in the middleweight division. Sean Strickland TKO'd him in the 3rd round. He's taking on the Freak Show. He's taking on the absolute Freak Show, one of the scariest champions alive that there's ever been. I do believe that. Khamzat, 32 years old, in his absolute prime. The guy's huge. I mean, 6'2", he's giant. I don't even know how he even got close to making welterweight in the past. I don't think he even made welterweight. The guy's 15-0, 15-0, with 6 KOs, 6 submissions, 3 decisions, and listen to the last guys he's beat. He took out Dricus du Plessis. Dricus did not have an answer to this guy's wrestling. Took out Robert Whitaker, cranked his face off, popped a damn tooth out, popped his tooth out, squeezing his face. Now imagine that. Kamaru Usman, one of the GOATs, Kevin Holland, Gilbert Burns, the list goes on and on. So let's take a peek here. Let's take a peek here on Sean Strickland's last fight, and some things that are going to give him some problems. But before we take a look at Sean Strickland versus Fluffy, I want to let you know that this video is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's so simple. You go to the App Store, you download Prize Picks, you pick more or less on your favorite players, NBA, NHL, UFC, boxing, soccer, much more, for a chance to win 100 times your money. It's available in states like Texas, California, 30 more, plus Canada. Right now, it's a great time to play because if you use code TIMBO, Prize Picks will give you $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. It's a real great time to play. Every new user who plays $5 lineup will receive $50 instantly. It's a guaranteed win. This new promotion provides unbeatable value, making it a no-brainer for your followers. That's code TIMBO when you sign up. Right now, we got the NBA playoffs and UFC 328. Make sure you keep an eye out on my stories and my final predictions video for my official UFC 328 Prize Picks, because lately we've been hitting. All right, guys, first off, Sean Strickland, he's training at Extreme Couture. Coach Eric Nixick, I don't know who's head coach for this fight camp. And again, once these guys become vets and they've been in there so many times, they've won the world title, they really kind of start figuring out your training and what's good for you. So a lot of times, a new coach isn't going to come in with a fighter like this and tell him, hey, we're doing this. No. They'll come in, they'll decide when they want to practice. You'll run the practices for them. And I remember asking Eric Nixick back in the day, how do you even prepare for a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, who's going to sprint at you with world-class wrestling? The cage makes it much worse. You can lock your hands. You can body lock. It makes him easy to lock your hands. He's got a freak show grip. He's got freak show strength. How do you prepare for someone like this? And Eric Nixick said, you find wrestlers that are as big as him, and you find about 5 of them. And you have them shoot on your guy over and over. When that new guy gets tired, bring in the next guy. Have him shoot on the wall. And Sean Strickland is a black belt in getting up. The cage is his friend. Sean Strickland's also a very, very big middleweight. When you see him, when he's on his off times, he's looking around 220, a clean 220. 225, maybe even 230 some days. So Sean Strickland's going to go into that fight probably being at least 208, maybe close to 210 pounds, a big guy who's got American wrestling, who's been training MMA for a long, long time. So let's take a peek here. The one thing that makes me a little bit nervous, is Sean Strickland, the way he comes out, and look at his legs are almost locked out. His legs are almost locked out, which makes it easy when your legs are locked out. It makes it easy to punch you upstairs, change levels, and shoot underneath. This style though, where he's doing this, the teeps are going to come in handy. But I almost guarantee you Khamzat and their team are looking at right after the teep hits, you go in, punch, and get into your takedown. And then the number one question is going to be, how good of shape is Sean Strickland in? Can he weather the storm? Because these first 2 rounds he's probably going to give away. These first 2 rounds are going to look similar to Dricus, to where Khamzat takes him down. He's behind him in a referee's position for the first 2 rounds. Can Strickland keep his chin tucked? Can he survive these first 2 rounds and put the pressure on? I think he can. Once it gets to the feet, this is the thing. Dricus back in the day, I mean, Dricus just swings hard. That's all he does. He swings hard. He swings explosive. And he didn't have anything for Khamzat until that 5th round. Strickland can sit here and go like this. Just annoying, just tap, 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 punching you literally at 60%. So he's used to these 5-round fights. Everyone's counting out Strickland. But this could be a more dangerous fight than possible. But also Strickland's got to worry about Khamzat knocking him out. Khamzat can punch hard. People are taking this out of account. Khamzat can punch hard. And if Strickland's constantly worried about these takedowns, it opens him up to get cracked on the chin. Okay, so here you have Strickland nice and relaxed, pacing himself for 5 rounds. All the kid does is spar. I don't even know if he does a strength and conditioning class. You see Khamzat with Sam Calvita pushing the pace. You got Khamzat sparring with Brendan Allen. You got Khamzat sparring with Cleo Roundtree. And now notice how Strickland's legs are just locked out. He's the only fighter. He trusts that he can get up so well. He trusts his wrestling so much that he literally locks his legs out. His feet are flat, locks his legs out. And I think Strickland's not stupid. Strickland's going to prepare to get roughed up a little bit these first 10 minutes. But the last 15 minutes of the fight, that's what's sticking out to me. So here we go. So sometimes he blocks like this. He blocks with his shoulder. And then he's like kind of spazzy when he starts letting him go. And sparring's kind of spazzy, weird people like this. It's hard, especially with 4-ounce gloves. It's hard. Throwing 3-2s, spars good people. But remember, watch his feet. So this is the entry. So let's see how Fluffy backs him up. Fluffy goes 3-2. He squares his feet, cracks him a few times, hits the wall, and now this is where Khamzat's going to be very strong. This is going to be a strength. I think Strickland's felt it before. These guys have trained together in the past. Strickland knows how he's going to feel. Again, it's different. It's different when you go in the training room and they're kind of out of fight camp and they're weighing around 220, 225. They got all this weight compared to after a weigh-in, after a full fight camp. Is Khamzat going to come out and be peaked, or is he going to be completely burnt out? Or are these camps going to get it right? Or is Strickland going to be completely peaked and at his absolute best, or is he going to be burnt out from wrestling so much this fight camp? So this is where Khamzat's going to score on him. Strickland looks like he shuts this down, but Khamzat is going to lock his hands, and he's going to be so strong and confident in this position. Khamzat's going to get into this position. He's going to take Strickland down. Because Khamzat's going to be relentless on these takedowns. But again, being relentless on takedowns severely zaps your energy for 25 minutes. We saw what Gilbert Burns did, but again, that one was Khamzat's trying to make 170. Khamzat's a shell of himself, so Gilbert Burns was able to wrestle him. Plus, Gilbert Burns is shorter and a little ball of strong muscle. People are counting out Strickland, though. I tell you what, he's going to be a big underdog, just like he was against Izzy. If there's anybody, in my opinion, that can get close to beating Khamzat, Strickland's going to be our best hope. But again, he squares up his feet. It's going to be easy for Strickland to get into a takedown on him. It's going to be easy for Strickland to throw hard, heavy punches, lock his hands right below the butt, flare his legs, and take him down. Holding him down is a whole different story, though. Holding him down is a whole different story. Sits there like this. The teeps are going to be his friend. Now, Fluffy's backing him up, putting him on the wall, punching on him. Strickland's going to be able to, guaranteed. So round one's going tit for tat. It's hard to say. Fluffy was doing pretty good, but Strickland just started to pick it up. Again, this is another spot right here. We're in round two. Fluffy backs him up, hits the wall. Boom. That's good. That's good for Strickland. But that's going to be not a bad thing. So as soon as he hits the wall, he's firing something up the middle. Backs him up, hits the wall, tries to fire a teep up the middle. But again, in that spot, when Khamzat gets that close to his hips, boom, Khamzat's scoring here. Khamzat's scoring a takedown here. One thing Khamzat likes to do, which a lot of wrestlers, collegiate wrestlers, he's more of a freestyle wrestler. Khamzat likes to throw the hooks in. He likes to throw the hooks in, and if Khamzat crosses his arms at all, anywhere below your nose, you're done for. He's going to crank your neck. He's going to take your chin out. The fence is going to be such a powerful weapon for Strickland. Getting his hip all the way against the fence, Strickland's going to have to block both those hooks. Because Khamzat throws the boots in. He throws the hooks in. So again, tit for tat. These kind of things too. These kind of things, leaning back. Watch how Strickland leans way back. And when you lean way back like this, look at how easy the entrance is going to be for Khamzat. For single legs, double legs, high crotches, doubles to the body lock. Leaning back like that is just not a great thing to do against very, very strong wrestlers. In my opinion, it's going to be who got through fight camp healthiest and who's going to show up ready for that 25 minutes best. These teeps could do something different. You can't shoot through a teep. You can't shoot through that. When that teep's coming at you to stab you in the gut, if you shoot into that, you're going to run into a shin, you're going to run into a knee. He throws those teeps back to back. But again, a good tactic for Khamzat would be as soon as he teeps, block the teep, punch, get into your takedown. Notice how Strickland's feet get squared up here. Squared up here. Look at this. Legs are locked out. We're at round 2, 306. Legs are locked out. This is an easy double leg for someone like Khamzat. Easy double leg. And Fluffy's backing him up. Remember, these are these big moments. Remember, Strickland showed up against Izzy and showed out. But again, this is just a whole different problem. A whole different problem. And I've been watching all Khamzat's vlogs. He's training with Brendan Allen. He's training with Khalil Roundtree. He's training with the Sam Calvita. He's coming in shape and fit. Now, I'm sure Sean Strickland's doing the same type of grinding. Maybe not the strength and conditioning, but a lot of sparring, a lot of live grappling. It's just we don't get to see it on these vlogs. He's not a big vlogger. So let's see if we can see some ground exchanges here, some wrestling exchanges. Takes one from Strickland too. He's going to get puckered out. Khamzat was fading at the end of that 5th round, and DDP does not have the same skills Strickland has. He's got power, he's explosive, he's a freak athlete, but Strickland has been training with high-level black belts, high-level wrestlers for decades. DDP doesn't get to train as consistently with that high level of guys. Strickland's got 205 UFC 205ers. He's got top guys in his gym too. So we didn't see a ton of wrestling. See, even this over-under position. Gets his hands inside, circles off. Strickland's going to have to be ready to go through absolute hell and accept in his mind that he's going to be fatigued. He's going to be gassed. He's probably going to get beat up the first 10. Again, this is where Strickland backs up. He backs up. He squares his feet. And this is just, look at how tall he is. Look at how tall he is. I don't know. They're not going to be able to change it. I mean, he fights the way he fights. It's not going to get changed. So a better idea would be almost level changing with the guy, being able to down block, being able to get your underhooks. But then you got to worry about the shots up top. Standing tall like this and then squaring the feet, that's where Strickland's going to have trouble. That's where Khamzat's going to be able to get into these finishes. Get into these takedowns and finish pretty easy. Again, it's going to be a matter of how much time has Strickland spent in that referee's positions, popping up against the fence, peeling the hands. Way easier said than done. So we didn't get a ton of takedowns in this fight. Let's see how Fluffy gets him against the wall. Popping some jabs. They fall into the over-unders. Jacks him up, double unders. It's going to be hard. I'm rooting for the American. I would love to see the American get it done. Sean Strickland is a character, but Khamzat, I also wouldn't mind seeing him just because he's such a character. Now this is where you can line up. This is where one little shot changes everything. This is where this knee digs to the gut. Watch it. Boom. Digs the knee to the gut. When you're breathing the wrong way, when you're breathing in, boom, and then you get smacked with that knee. Those ribs, they drive into your organs. Zapped his energy here. Strickland knew that one landed. He could hear him, and this is where Strickland starts teeing off. We're late in the third. Again, he hasn't had to do a bunch of grappling this whole fight. So now he's able to tee off. Now look at when he tees off. Boom, boom, boom. He flurries hard with 4-ounce gloves. Knows he's hurt. Starts issuing juicers. Uppercut. Douche. And takes Fluffy out. Takes Fluffy out in the third round. Huge win. And Strickland's fired up for it. Boys, we're in for a treat. I'm hoping this fight happens. I'm praying nothing goes south here. They don't run into each other. If they run into each other in the parking lot, the fight's going to go down in the parking lot. If they run into each other in the elevator, the fight's going down in the elevator. Okay, so security needs to be on top notch, better than they've ever been this fight. And I think the UFC knows that. Maybe even keep these guys in separate hotels. Sometimes in the embedded, they purposely, when you're doing media, they purposely have guys run into each other, have a little interaction for the embedded, make things spice up. I don't think they should let that happen. Khamzat rolls around with a crew of 10 guys that are licking their lips to get in a fight. If they see each other in vicinity, they're going to get after it. And we don't want this fight to get jeopardized. Okay, boys, so let me know in the comments below, who do you think wins? Give me an honest opinion. Who do you think wins, Strickland versus Khamzat, and how will they win? KO, sub, DQ? Let me know in the comments below, boys. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to leave you with this. We're on the brink of war, and I'm fired up for it. Big fight. Can't wait. Hope you enjoyed the video, boys and girls. Love y'all. See you soon.